Hello there, you beautiful soul. Welcome back to another Cultured Talk segment with your host and founder of Cultured Society. My name is Rebecca Munoz, and I am here with yet another special guest with me today to talk about life philosophies, culture, and all things art. I am so excited to have this special guest with me today because this artist is on the move to making some impactful waves on this planet. We are coming to you from a space where we are stepping into a new way of living. We are being so divinely inspired to create a new way to perceive this reality. And I am divinely inspired by art at all times. So I love to connect with artists because it's always beautiful to see the world through the lens of a creator that has the capacity to really expand their mind and just flow in the way that they see, this reality. And it's so beautiful because we have the capacity to be the architects of our destiny. We have the capacity to be the designers and the writers of our life. So you can perceive this reality the way that you want to perceive it. And it's such a beautiful thing to be able to exchange words, to exchange beautiful words and conversation with people that are actually doing that. So today, my guest is Habib Olomi. So Olomi picked up a brush at the age of 4 and hasn't placed it back down since then. His family migrated to Germany, which exposed Habib Olomi to architecture and colors. He realized soon enough his gift as an artist and started using it to his benefit. He realized that people would always pay good attention to his creativeness, so he started expressing his feelings and emotions through his art. For the last 40 years, Mr. Habib Olomi has reinvented himself as Olomi the Artist. And he sure has impressed his new fans who are not just his family and friends, but art lovers around the world. He has done paintings for celebrities from Hollywood to Bollywood: Madonna, the Marleys, Mr. Tom Hanks, Dr. Florance Harding, Dr. Hasan Kakar, and noble family of Loy Khan Zaland Khan, and many, many more. He has perfected his skills over many years of experience and his travels to countries like the US, Germany, France, Italy, Netherlands, the Caribbean island, China, Afghanistan, and last but not least, India, one of his favorite countries. Olomi paints in different styles and mediums. He sculpts with wood, stone, and mixed media, meaning anything and everything he can get his hands on. Mr. Olomi, or Olomi the Artist, has astonished the world with his arts and is just now getting started. His main goal is to leave the earth and the world of art a much better place than initially he has received. He's inspiring individuals, not just with his art, but loving personality as well. In his own words, I want to spread love and unity around the world through me and my art. And that's exactly what we are here to do today. So thank you so much for joining me, Olomi the Artist. I'm so excited and so inspired by your work. So I'm really grateful to be able to exchange beautiful words with you today. So thank you for joining me.
Well, it's an honor. Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor to be on the show. Heard so much about you. And like I told you before, I did a little bit of research myself as well. So it's a great honor to be on this platform and to be able to spread our love or our message, and especially, the message of unity.
Absolutely. I can't agree with you more. And we are living in a time today where there is a lot of separation, a lot of segregation, and we can be really infiltrated with a lot of hate. And I like to say that, we are a part of one body and one consciousness. However, we are all uniquely designed and we have a specific DNA code that we were each individually brought to this earth to fulfill. We all have a divine purpose. We all have the capacity to inspire ourselves to create a beautiful world. And we have the ability to change our perspective and to change the narrative of what society is trying to portray this world to be. We were brought here to unite. We were brought here to spread love. We were brought here to spread wisdom and creativity. And it's so beautiful that we get to do that on this platform today. So if you have not had an opportunity to join us on these conversations, I invite you to take the time to scroll through these playlists of cultured conversations. We have a variety of guests spread and dispersed throughout the world, many age groups, philosophies, experiences, cultures, you name it, all varieties of color. And although we may have different experiences, different life philosophies, different narratives, it doesn't really matter. I invite you to open up your mind, to open up your perspective, to open up your heart, to listen in and tune in with what these guests have to say, because every single experience is so valuable, and we all need a space to be able to share our stories. And with sharing our stories, we have the capacity to inspire others to live out their divine purpose, so that we can continue to spread the love and, just the inspiration of purpose-driven experiences in this world. So with this, I invite you to just, tune in to what these people have to say, because it's just so valuable, especially during this time that we're living in. So with this, I start the conversation with, what is your life's philosophy?
My life's philosophy. What a beautiful question. First and foremost, talking about creation and creators, I would like to thank the ultimate creator, the one and only, the God, the person in charge of the universe, and the beautiful planet that's behind you as well. I would like to thank him to give me the gift of being an artist, and giving me this also, not just to be able to create with my hands, but also I'm an artist. I'm a walking, breathing, talking artist. My personality, everything about me, and that's due to my traveling to different countries, different continents, especially different countries, being exposed to different cultures, different colors, religions. I mean, oh my God, this world is such a beautiful place. So I'm kind of going back to what you were saying as well. Yes, altogether we are one human race. I'm a big believer of that. We're all one. Yes, we're all here to serve a purpose. And I am so glad to be able to use this platform to spread the word to all these beautiful people around the world, about my personal experience and what my philosophy is about life. So basically, I've traveled halfway across the world, and I've realized from my traveling that deep down inside, we humans, we only want one thing, is to live in peace and harmony, and to provide a better life for our children, basically. That's what everybody wants. Yes, I mean, I can't speak for all the governments around the world, but majority of the people, 90% of the human race, wants peace. They want to live in peace. They want to live in harmony. They don't want wars. They don't want to steal from thy neighbor. They don't want to kill. They don't want to do all those things. See, we're not born evil. We're all born as little angels. It's just sometimes poverty, lifestyles, our surroundings, what we are exposed, kind of opens our eyes to the devil's side, let's say, or the evil side, but we're all technically born as angels. So if every child around the world is given the equal opportunity to fulfill their dreams, oh my God, this world would be such a beautiful place. Just like Bob Marley said, one love. I mean, we're getting there. We're getting there. This world is definitely a much nicer place than 100 years ago, for sure. With all these mixed marriages and mixed races that you see, pretty soon it's going to be one beautiful mix of one race of people, which is going to be just mixed races, and that's what makes this world a beautiful. And obviously, due to our surroundings, weather, climate, our skin, eyes, even our eyelashes. Believe it or not, some people that have long eyelashes, they have it because they live in places where it's really dusty or sandy. So over time, their body, basically develops in a way to protect the eye, and what no better thing than to have eyelashes, I'm talking about 100, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, before goggles and glasses were invented. So, and I apologize about my dog. He wants attention. Yeah, yeah. And this is DOG, by the way,
The OG?
another DO. Yeah, I was trying to be creative, so I named him DOG. Yeah.
I love it. He's
Right, right. He's adorable. Yeah, he just wants attention and he likes to bite my thumb sometimes. So,
he's
and
joining
with that
in on
said,
the conversation.
sorry?
He's joining in on the conversation.
Yes, yes. He likes to join in every conversation, believe me. Every time, even when I'm FaceTiming my family and friends, he's there. So I apologize. So sometimes you might see his tail in front of the camera coming in and out. So with that said, see, I also believe what Oprah Winfrey says, that forgive and forget. We really need to do that. We cannot hold grudges. Life goes on. And the ones that hold grudges are the ones that are going to lose. Believe me. You need to forgive and forget for your own sake. For your own sake. And I'm saying this once again from traveling around the world and from seeing people literally younger than me or as old as me living in a shack the size of my bathroom.
Yes.
The size of one of my bathrooms, and they're living happy.
Yes.
And their life is fulfilled. They're complete. They see, not all of us are used to these luxuries of life. So basically, back to my comment about philosophy of life is to live and let live, to enjoy and let enjoy. Even our enemies will not live forever. Believe me, we're all going to eventually, within 120 years max, let's say we're going to die.
Oh, absolutely.
So even those enemies of ours that we can't stand, even they will not be longer on this earth. So with that said, forgive and forget. Live your life. Enjoy and let enjoy.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I couldn't agree with you more, because if everybody lived by that philosophy, we wouldn't have, even religion tends to really separate people, because if you don't believe this specific way, you don't belong. And that narrative really needs to change, because again, we are a part of one body, one consciousness. And if we are aligned with the frequency of love, right? Because that really is the universal language of God. It really is love. And when we, come to that conclusion, there really wouldn't be any need for separation. We would, and it's really important that, especially in this time that we're living in, that we really adopt that concept.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So important. So how would you say that philosophy has evolved for you through the years?
Oh, another great question. Basically, from my traveling. From traveling to different places and from being exposed to different races, different people from different walks of life with different faiths, different beliefs. And I mean, I've came to the conclusion that by literally, like I was in the Caribbean islands, for example, and I was sitting with a bunch of Rastafarians, which I thought I had nothing in common with. And in the first day or two, it kind of felt awkward. But as soon as they kind of accepted me as one of their own, as a human being, let's say, because I did not go there with any kind of filters in front of me. I went with an open eyes and open arms, basically, willing to hug and accept their friendship and their love. So sure enough, they realized that and they opened up. And as soon as they opened up, they were exactly like my best friends that I grew up with. I realized that, wait a minute, the person that I didn't think I have 10% in common with, all of a sudden I have over 70, 80% of things in common. We had similar dreams. We had, for the world, global dreams, like what they want for the human race. I sometimes, in the conversations, no matter who I'm sitting with or what the topic might be, somehow I kind of bring that up. Like I want to know what the other person's opinion is and what they want to do for the human race. And I realized that we all have exact same dreams. So that it wasn't that I realized that my philosophy is actually true or not. It's actually my eyes opened up and I realized, and I just basically I accepted the world with open eyes and the world accepted me back.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So it's a beautiful world out there, people. I mean, I know we're going through a pandemic right now. You know, it's tough times. But I was blessed to travel during the 40 something years of my lifetime. I've traveled halfway across the globe, and every place on earth is a beautiful place. The human race, oh my God, we're such a beautiful race. I mean, do we really need like those science fiction movies? Do we really need aliens to come and attack us for us to all unite? You know, yeah, I mean, seriously, can't we just do that without being attacked from by some other superior power? You know, why? I mean, we tried hate. We tried for hundreds and years, thousands of years. We spread hate. Let's spread love. Let's try
Exactly.
love. You know how they say, let's give peace a chance. Let's give love a chance. You know,
100%.
global love, global love.
100%. And you know what's interesting though is that um, you know, global pandemics have been a part of our history for generations upon generations. The thing that really has changed and is very prominent in our society now is technology. And technology, the only way to get ratings really is through spreading hate, right?
Right.
That's really what gets the most attention. And people are so glued to their phones and their TVs and are not really watching what
Right.
conducive to their overall well-being, right? And when you go out into the world and when you explore it and when you travel, you actually see what's really happening. And it's
Absolutely.
so beautiful. Like it's
Yeah.
such a beautiful thing when you're actually
Right.
not glued to your phone and you get to experience the world for what it is.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, just recently during this whole pandemic, within the last year, I had a short travel. I had to go to Turkey for a few days. So I went to Amsterdam, to Turkey, and came back. Luckily, nothing happened. I wasn't exposed to COVID or anything. But oh God, yes, the world has changed. You know, things have slowed down. Even Amsterdam, out of all places, I mean, it had like 30% of the regular, you know, tourist population that they would usually have. So the streets were to a degree full back then. Now Netherlands is completely on shutdown again. But back to my point is, yes, the world is beautiful. People need to go out there and, like you said, take advantage of technology. I mean, if you can't do an actual traveling, do the virtual traveling at least. Get familiar with their colors and the customs and their language, let's say. And then when you get the first chance you get, do travel. Please do travel. That's my recommendation. I mean, that's my advice to people. If you want to know your basically what your reason in life, travel. You will get to know yourself. You get to know this beautiful world that God has created. You know, and back in the days, yes, it was so hard, and that's why our ancestors were so backwards. Because I mean, they used to travel on horses and camels and donkeys, let's say. You know, so it took them months to travel from one country to another. They were not exposed. They were there to different cultures and different colors and religions. So that's why they were so locked in their own little bubble. But we, this generation, like the last 100 years, let's say, and ever since, you know, flights, airplanes have been created, and we've been traveling through ships and planes and whatnot, especially through airplanes, you know, uh, we have had the opportunity to go travel and see the world in our own eyes, not in someone else's eyes. Not like Depeche Mode said, let me show you the world in my eyes. No, go travel the world and see it in your own eyes.
Exactly. 100%. 100. I agree with you 100% because just like you, I've had an opportunity to travel the world, not only through work, but also through personal experiences. And I will tell you that it completely shifts your perspective and expands your mind in ways that you could never imagine. And it does, it really allows you to recognize that we are all divinely connected. Like I didn't have an opportunity to meet Habib before this conversation. And we have so much in common already from just, you know, the experiences. And when you allow yourself to be open to have a conversation, sometimes with the complete stranger that you've never seen before, you never imagined that you would have anything in common with, you're probably more connected than you ever thought possible. And that's the beautiful thing about travel is that it really does It makes you comfortable with the discomforts of, connecting with people that you would never imagine to connect with. And it's such a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
Now, speaking of people and, circle of influences, I truly believe that you are a product of your environment and that you are a sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So circle of influence is very important. And although we think that we didn't choose our family lineage, we signed a soul contract before we came into this human experience. And we just, as we came through the birthing canal, our memories were wiped clean and we were gifted all these experiences for us to remember. But as we become more wise and sovereign through our experiences, we do have more of a choice and the freedom of choice than we actually think to choose who we are going to surround ourselves with. So I love to ask this question because it really does impact the way that you live and think. So how has your circle of influence impacted the way that you think and live today?
My circle of influence. Well, I have to say, my parents, my father played a very big role in my upbringing. My mother did too. My father, he was a poet and a writer. He was a historian. He was actually a politician initially. He was a diplomat, but then his passion was also poetry. And every once in a while, he used to sketch and draw. My mother, she was a housewife. She was a teacher, but then retired housewife. But she loved to decor the home every once in a while, redesign her flowers and whatnot. So basically, and I was that child that would always come and help her out. So basically, mom and dad played a big role in my upbringing, and also by being a positive influence. They were not, they didn't have their mind set to have basically. Excuse me, let me give them attention. DOG, no, not right now. So basically, they didn't want to force certain things upon me. Yes, my mother wanted, like most parents, they had a dream that okay, my child can be a doctor, an engineer, whatnot at a certain age. And yes, I did actually study med school. I was in med school for about 2 years, just to follow my mom's dreams. I was already an established artist, but I was attending med school to fulfill my mom's dreams. But after 2 years, I told my mom that, Mom, let me please continue with my own passion, and not be able to follow your dreams. So mom and dad, my dad was, may he rest in peace. He was such a cool person. He's right away. He's like, son, he's like, I come back right away. He's like, I don't want you to even spend another semester. Please come back. Yeah, I mean, they believed in me. So parents play a very big role. And whether you want to, like we said in the beginning of the conversation, we're all here for a reason. We're all on earth for a reason. Certain parents, they want their son, they're a basketball player, they want their son to be a basketball player. Or let's say they were in the army, they want their son to be in the army or whatnot, but you gotta let them be, let them evolve and grow and and then realize what their talent is and what their purpose is on earth. Just because you were a general in the army doesn't mean your son can be a sergeant. Just because you were an all-timer or a great basketball player doesn't mean your son will be a basketball player. So, and here's back, Theoji's back again. Yeah. He's a spoiled little brat. He just wants my attention all the time.
Okay, they're like babies.
Right. So, and DOG had a big role too. No, I just adopted it recently. So yes, parents played a big role, and obviously they realized the reason they played a big role was because they're the ones that initially saw the talent in me and allowed me to grow as an artist. And also during, and one more thing, I mean, just to clarify, I don't want to come and say that I had the most perfect family. Well, we all come from dysfunctional families. We all do. I mean, that's just it. I mean, whether you agree or not, certain people say, oh, no. We all come from dysfunctional families. So yes, I had, occasionally my dad used to drink. Yes, my mom used to gamble. And yes, we had musical gatherings where my mom and dad usually had a blast in, and we kids were up till late to study, and we couldn't, study or do our homeworks. But those were the cute little things of life that, that now I look back onto, and I'm like, okay, those were the things that allowed me, let's say when they were involved in their own life, I went and I took a pen and paper and I started drawing or sketching. And it allowed me to be me. None of us have a perfect upbringing, whether you're born with a silver spoon or a plastic spoon, none of us had a perfect upbringing. It just depends on how you will take an approach and react to the world. We all have fallen, some people fall and don't get up. Some people fall constantly and they constantly get right back up and they act like nothing happens. So it depends on you as an individual and how you basically adapt to your surroundings and to everything that the world throws at you. So, and with that said, my parents played a big role. They actually saw the artist in me. They allowed me to, like in gatherings or musical gatherings, I would get like 10 minutes or 15 minutes to shine, they were like, oh, by the way, our son created this new artwork, and then I would come in and show. And that's when I realized that I can actually get people's attention by the gift that God has given me by taking a blank piece of paper and just with a pencil, being able to put something on there, changing that blank white piece of paper into something very magical, So, that's when I realized that, I am gifted. And then, yes, and if I can show the world, especially using my gift, people will listen to me, people will pay attention to me. So I kind of realized what my purpose was in life. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be this great artist. And this was my dream ever since I was, let's say, a little boy, 6, 7 years old. They always say that you will become what you want. It's just dream big, dream big.
Dream big.
Yeah, aim for the moon, like they say. And if you fall, the worst case scenario, you'll end up on a star. So yes, aim big.
Aim big. That's beautiful. And it's awesome that even though you may say that you came from a dysfunctional family, which is true because everybody, everybody's human and everybody's, going through the spiritual experience as a human being. And we're all really trying to figure it out, right? And our parents, absolutely, first and foremost, they were really trying to figure it out. So the fact that, they gave you space to be able to evolve in your giftings from such a young age, because at 4, you picked up the brush at 4.
Absolutely. Yeah, I picked up the brush at age 4. And like I said, every chance I got, I expressed my dreams, my desires, my nightmares, my everything. I expressed it with my art, with my talent. And even during school, oh my God, I used to hit on girls, by I remember that this one girl broke my heart once. And, and what I did was I did a drawing of mine literally with my heart, broke it, and I just like left it on her table. She looked at me and then that was it. We were, I think, girlfriend and boyfriend for about 3 months, 4 months. So yes, art is a beautiful thing.
It really is. It's a beautiful expression. Art through painting, through sculpture, through writing, poetry, all of it really is an art.
Absolutely. Dancing, everything, acting. Absolutely.
Absolutely. You can create art in every arena of your life. And it's just so beautiful to be able to express fully and to express it through your own personal lens, right? Because, we all may be, part of one body, one consciousness, but we all have a very specific way that we see the world, and our perspective is so unique. So every single person has the capacity to create art and create it in a way that nobody else is creating it. So absolutely, it's so beautiful to be able to share that with people.
Absolutely. And like you were saying, there is an artist within each and every one of us. So I recommend it to each and everybody out there. Go out there and express yourself by picking up a brush. You never know. You never know. Let's say your favorite color is purple and pink. You never know how many people out there on this beautiful world of ours like purple and pink. There might be millions of them that like that combination of those 2 colors. So go ahead and express yourself throw it out to the world. And especially nowadays with social media, I mean, the whole globe, the whole world is at your, in your fingerprints, literally, you know. So everything is in your hand. You can control, you can post images, videos. Back, I mean, a few years ago, even, I would say, let's say about 15 years ago, not too long ago, 15 years ago, it was so hard to get, a platform. But nowadays, TikTok and this and that, I mean, the whole, anybody that is creative, and they are using those different kind of platforms to their advantage, whether they're actors, musicians, dancers, I mean, artists from all different walks of life are using those different platforms.
Yeah.
So I recommend people, please go out there, pick up a brush or a pencil, draw, sketch, paint, you
Right.
never know.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I mean, we already can sense it that you are spreading love and light throughout this entire universe. But do you personally believe that your line of work infects our society with positivity?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Art is the most positive thing out there. I mean, it's you cannot lie that I'm a great artist and then you can't even draw stick figures. So I mean, you either got it or you don't. So, and it's one of those things that, if you have it, it will show. And how it affects positively, art makes you passionate. Art makes you loving. Art makes you caring towards people, towards things. Your emotions become stronger. So definitely.
And do you believe that your work that you do every day is aligned with your calling and higher purpose?
Of course, as we were saying that, I'm going to use art to spread the message of love amongst humanity, and I have been, and I am trying still, where basically sometimes, for example, you go to India, they hear my name, and obviously a strange name, so they think, okay, that the whole xenophobic thing. They're like, okay, he's strange. He has a different name. He looks different. He must be different. But then I draw one of their gods or goddesses, or, I draw one of their beautiful instruments, the sitar or the tabla, and then they look at the detail of that. And then all of a sudden they just, they accept me as a human being. They don't have that. They all of a sudden they see that, oh, wait a minute, he knows our culture. He just drew this. Or the same thing goes for, other cultures around the world, wherever it might be. I mean, in China, same thing. And I didn't even speak the language. Sat with a bunch of Chinese people, and we sat down, and we were looking at each other. I saw a pen and paper, and I started sketching, and they're like, that was it.
Oh yeah, no, it's beautiful. And it's beautiful to be able to go to different cultures. Like I had an opportunity to go to China for work, and it was amazing to be able to sit at a round table with 15 Chinese, people that are from that country, and to be able to have a universal conversation, to be accepting, to be loving. And it's even in those countries where you're a completely different culture, you can come together and have a universal conversation and you can have so much in common.
Well, absolutely. That's exactly what I'm saying too. In that sometimes it makes it easier when you speak the language, but even when you don't speak the language, people see it through your body language, through your actions, whether you have a smile or you have a frown on your face, it shows whether you are welcoming or not. So definitely, if you go to different countries and different cultures and you go there with open arms and open eyes, they will soon enough, give it some time. Don't expect them that overnight that, hey, wait a minute, Olomi said that, go to China with open arms and open eyes, and no, give it some time. Be nice, be genuine, be yourself, and sure enough, you will attract people like you. Soon enough.
Absolutely. Like attracts like. And also, there's this misconception that there's so many starving artists, or that you cannot get paid to create, with your own unique giftings. And I beg to differ, because I know so many people, including yourself now, that are doing very well for themselves with their unique giftings that God has given them. And then you've also developed that skill through the years. So how old were you when you actually started creating and selling your art?
Age 12, I participated in this art competition in Germany. And back then, they would just give you a number. They wouldn't write your name or your age. You would just a letter and a number. Like I was A132, let's say. And that's how the judges were not being forced to, to go with the name or whatnot. So they were basically being very fair by looking at the artwork and judging it accordingly. And soon enough, I received a letter in the mail that I should come for the grand ceremony, and I go there and they announced me. I won the second prize, basically. I won second prize out of hundreds of people that were competing. And back then I was competing with 40, 45-year-old men or even older, and I was only 12. So when I went on stage with my father, rest in peace, the Germans thought that my father was the artist who just brought his son along. So they started congratulating my dad that, oh, you're amazing, your work is phenomenal, blah, 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 blah. I had done a painting of Pablo Picasso. It was from the Blue period, where it was a Jewish father and son. Picasso had different periods, so one of them was his Blue period. And there was a starving father and son. Basically, they're just sitting with a bowl, of like soup in front of them, And so they congratulated my dad, and my dad looked at them and like, no, wrong, Mr. Olomi, this little guy right here, he's the artist, So German people being over emotional, they're like, oh, wir können das nicht glauben, we cannot believe this, we have a child prodigy, blah, 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 blah. So they sent me to Italy, to Rome, to this gentleman that was a German-Italian art teacher that lived in Italy. And I would go there every summer for almost 2 months, 2.5 months sometimes, and spend only with that husband and wife, and he would I would live there, I would get home, board, food, everything, and I would be exposed to art by him. So that's when I first learned how to paint professionally. And as soon as I came back, like age 14, 15, I was already selling my art, and it was the cutest thing. Now that I think back, people would look at me, and like, I remember I went to this festival thing, and I had a section that had my own tent with art pieces and stuff. And I was a 16-year-old kid. I had just arrived into United States from Germany a year prior to that. And with my broken English, I had my tent with artwork and whatnot, and I had my paintings back then priced at $200, $300, let's say. Which was a good pocket change for a 15-year-old, And this lady came up to me and she's like, who do you think you are, selling your artwork for $300, with just small little pieces. And I looked at her and I'm like, lady, I'm Olomi. I'm Olomi, and I'm going to be known as one of the greatest one day. So I suggest you buy this piece right now for $300 before this becomes a $30,000 painting, So, and she looks at me, she's like, yeah, whatever. She walked around, she acted like she wasn't interested. She was impressed. She walked around for an extra 20 minutes or so, came back, and sure enough, bought that painting. So at age 14, 15, I started selling my art. And in high school, I was teaching art to my art teacher, like, she would come and she would say that, okay, this is how you do a still life. And I'm like, no, it would be better if we do it this way. And if you put the light on it, because that way you can see shadows and whatnot. And they'd be like, okay, do what he says. So, yeah, at age 15, but yes, it is tough. It is tough, and especially to make it as an artist. But you have to, you have to be unique as an artist. You have to be different. You have to show the world and impress them in a ways that they haven't. And believe me, we have had great masters in the past, from Vincent van Gogh or Van Gogh, to Salvador Dali, to Picasso. I mean, you name it, all of them, each and every one of them. I mean, they've shown us everything and anything, all these great masters. that have shown us what art can be. Michelangelo, I mean, oh God, there's so many. I cannot, the segment will be extra long if I start naming each and every one of them. But I don't want to offend any artists from other walks of life. But, you know, they were great masters, and they've shown the world all these different styles, and you just have to be unique. You have to be different, and you have to, like I said, you have to stick to your dream. There will be a lot of road bumps on the way. There will be a lot of road bumps. Sometimes the road is completely closed, and they'll tell you to make a U-turn. You know, but you know, it doesn't mean that you're going to give up on your dream. You just find a different. It's a maze. You have to find your way. You know, don't give up. So my particular style, what really impressed the art world, like I would say, is my new style that I call Olomism, is people without features. They have no eyes, nose, or mouth. They don't have a skin color. It's just white. You know, not you know, any other particular skin color, not yellow, not pink, not red, not blue, not black, white. And they have no faces, but they have ears, you know. So they can hear music. So they're always in a very jazzy atmosphere, like there's a musician or a Erykah Badu looking female singing on a tabletop, but you see her outfit, you see her body, you see her turban, you know, but you don't see features. So basically the whole message of one love, and, you know, basically that deep down underneath of it all, we're all the same, except being male and female, you know, but overall we have the same skeleton, we have the same, everything is, well, oh my God, I mean, it's ridiculous that we're in 21st century and we still are, you know, have not come to that conclusion that we're one and the same, you know,
well,
but the world will wake up. The world will wake up soon
and
enough.
We're going into that. We're going into
Absolutely.
that.
Getting there.
We're going into that new season, I like to say, where people are starting to awaken to the reality of what this earth, what this new earth is all about. And it's just a matter of time. I really feel like this world pandemic really shook people up, and it really like forced people to go inward, inward, and to really understand what we're here on this planet to do. What is your divine purpose? Right. What are you being called to do here on this planet? And it's not really just to exist, right? Like not roaming around aimlessly, blindsided. You know, there's so much to see. There's so much to create. There's so much to, go ahead.
Yeah, so I don't want to interrupt, but talking about that topic, I mean, people like Elon Musk. I'm right now, and I actually wanted to get into that. I wanted to talk about Elon Musk. You know, Elon Musk is, I mean, the guy is, genius seems even a small word for him, you know. That there has to be like a superior genius, super genius, or something like that. You know, he's not just a genius. The guy is mind-blowing. You know, the guy is just out of this world, you know. So, I mean, Tesla is just the beginning. The fact that SpaceX, you know, the things that he's doing, how he wants to change the world, and a person that comes from like humble beginnings is able to change the world to that degree. You know, I mean, that's huge. You know, I mean, you have to like think about that, like to absorb that for 1 second, you know, or a minute. This guy came and he's literally building SpaceX for people to travel into space now, and with no prior experience, you know, no connections to NASA or whatnot, you know, but he did it. He had a dream and he made it happen. And talking about Elon Musk, I'm actually doing a huge painting of him, which is going to be a NFT. It's going to be on noracoin.tech for those that are interested in Elon Musk for this particular painting. Please go on noratech.com, and you will see the short, like almost like a sneak peek of the painting. And it's a phenomenal painting because you see literally the Tesla sign inside his eye, and SpaceX. And come to think of it, you know what? I do not do this, but if I can turn the camera around, I can give you your own personal sneak peek.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I did have an opportunity to see that, but I'm so glad you're showing the audience.
Oh,
Wow.
I mean, just check out the Tesla sign, and then on the
Oh,
left you see the SpaceX, right there.
that's
Let me
incredible.
see. Oh, there it is, and that's my finger next to the painting. So the painting is huge.
And that's going to be sold as an NFT.
That's going to be sold as an NFT, and you just get a sneak peek, and that's all you're getting.
And talk about the release date. Talk about the release date.
2/22/22. It's a beautiful date, and we all thought it's definitely considered lucky in certain places of the world. And we just like the sound of that, the 2/22/22. So February 22nd this year, we're gonna have the auction, and it's gonna start. The starting bid is at, I think, 1 million NFT.
1 million.
1 million NFT is the starting price.
Yes.
So as I mentioned, to those upcoming artists and those young artists that are trying to make it out there, dream big. It will come. It will happen. I came from a small little country called Afghanistan. I'm sure most of you have heard about it lately, but I was exposed to all the way around the world. And let me catch my dog because he's going extra crazy now. Yeah, he wants me to take him for. He controls me. I don't control him. He controls me. He tells me when it's time to walk, when it's time to feed him, and not when I want to take him for a walk. Yes. So yeah, so for all those artists, dream big, young artists or people that are watching these shows and they have a son or daughter that wants to grow up and be an artist. Let them, give them a chance. You never know. You never know.
Yes.
They might be the next Picasso or Van Gogh or Olomi.
It's interesting, and I'm so glad that you said that, and thank you so much for giving us a sneak peek because this is so exciting. And when you are on this path to to your greater purpose, you have to remember that it is said that it takes a minimum of 10,000 hours to master a craft, a minimum. Right.
Oh,
and it's in that process oftentimes where you, just like Olomi mentioned earlier about the roadblocks and the getting, having to face a lot of adversity and a lot of rejection and a lot of pain and just
absolutely.
So many challenges that you face through this process.
And people will judge you. People will
Yes.
judge you. No matter what they will judge you by the way you look. But I mean, for God's sake, they told Oprah Winfrey that she's not TV material. Oprah Winfrey is not TV material. They told, I don't need that. Nowadays, with all these videos, they can all go and watch those videos. Go research Michael Jordan and the obstacles he went through. Oprah Winfrey, everybody that is a somebody. Most of us had to work very hard for it. It didn't come that easy, but we didn't give up. The whole objective is not to give up. Dream big. I always say that I am either going to make it or I'm going to die trying. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. At least I have an objective. At least I have a dream. So I love dreamers. I love people that dream because it's all those dreamers. It's people like us, like Elon Musk, like Mark Zuckerberg, that are making dreams possible. That are making dreams turn into reality.
Absolutely.
So for all those youngsters out there, yes, I have some great hair now. For all those youngsters out there, go, dream big, and don't give up.
Absolutely. And now is the time. Now is the time more than ever before. You have so much room. And you can say that, oh, there's too many people doing it. Listen, there's room for everybody to shine. There's room Absolutely. For everybody to rise. There's always going to be someone out there that's going to resonate with you versus the other person. This world is, I like to say that this world is really big, but there's 0 degrees of separation, especially now with the online e-commerce platforms. And right. So just like Olomi said, there's room for everybody to be able to, express and to create and to even rise up monetarily through, your creativity. It's so beautiful.
Absolutely. And the world has also, basically they're looking at your talent. People that are out there, those talent seekers, or the people that are actually out there that are hiring, let's say, new talent, they're looking for talent nowadays. Before it was who you are, what your background was, what school you went to, or which connections you have. Now it's more about, well, connections still it's always big in our part of the world, but at the same time, it's also your talent. They're seeking for genuine talent. So whether you're a little kid in a village in India or in Africa, or you're in a small little city, in a suburban city in Australia, or sitting in Hong Kong in an apartment, dream big, try, and the world is watching. Go and expose yourself, like try to get as much exposure as possible. Right now, what I'm doing is it's also, yes, it's helping your program, and at the same time, I'm getting exposure, it's helping me out as an artist. So go out there, get as much exposure as you can get. Advertise yourself. I always joke around. I'm like, you have to pimp yourself. You have to.
Yeah. And honestly, during the development of your craft, oftentimes you're going to be exchanging energy without actually getting monetary, like actual money. However,
Right.
It pays off when you really go out there and you make the connections, because oftentimes even it's not what it's who right? So if you go out and you network and you put
Right.
yourself out there on platforms, it's just a matter of time before someone picks you up and actually like sees your worth, sees your value, sees your talent, and is willing
Right.
to give you all the money to be able to
Absolutely. And it's all a learning process, So sometimes, you're not complete. Sometimes, those people, those talent seekers, they know that maybe there's something lacking in your personality. Maybe there's something that you're still weak in. Maybe the way you carry yourself. So everything, like you said, it doesn't have to be materialistic. Sometimes you won't gain anything financially, but you will gain experience. It will perfect you. It will perfect you. And then when the day comes and you get that ultimate exposure, then you're ready from every shape and angle. So don't think of it that, oh, you know what, I did this art show, or I did exhibition and I didn't sell much, or I had this little concert and not enough people showed up. Yes, not enough people showed up, but you had your stage fright went away by you going on stage and picking up that mic and picking up the guitar and singing to 10 or 12 people. Beatles, for God's sake, I don't want to go off subject, but talking about that, when they interviewed Beatles, they said that they perfected their skills by singing in front of a group of drunk Germans. They were hired in Germany as a British band. They were hired in this bar in Germany to play 6 or 7 days out of a week. I think they got 1 day off, but 6 days they would sit there and play and sing nonstop in front of drunk Germans. And I know how drunk Germans can get. I lived in Germany, believe me. So, but what they did was they perfected their skills and they became one of the greatest bands of all time. Whether it was the drummer or the guitarist or the vocalist, they practiced so much. They didn't think of it that, oh, you know what, there's only 10 people out of the 50 people listening. They had bigger dreams. They were trying to get bigger and better. So when the day comes and they get that exposure, they're ready. And that's exactly what happened. When the day came and they became a sensation, they were ready. They had the personality. They knew how to deal from paparazzis to media to even drunk fans. So absolutely.
Yeah,
So everything is a learning lesson. Everything in life. Yeah. So
absolutely.
you do fall. Please.
Yeah, practice equals mastery. And with that practice, you really develop resiliency, you develop discipline, you develop the ability to really recognize that everything worth having is going to take work, and discipline is really the most important skill that you need to have in order for you to master your craft.
Absolutely.
And so much time.
Absolutely. So it was basically, practice will mold you into that perfect artist that you want to be, everywhere, whatever the form of art might be, if it's acting, dancing, whatnot, it's not going to be overnight. It's going to take practice, like you said, practice, and more practice. And that's how you perfect. Just like a great bottle of wine. No great bottles of wines are not made overnight. It takes months and years for them to slowly for it to become perfect and be this perfect bottle of Merlot that you pop and open and you smell it from the aroma and the taste.
Absolutely.
So yeah, definitely. It takes practice and time, patience, but not to give up, and to follow your dreams and to do it in a positive way. And if it's a competition, positive competition. Don't be out there to get your cousin because you want to prove that you're a better dancer than her. No, do it together. Let's do something together. Let's join forces and be even better. So it's just unity. It's all about unity. It's all about love. It's all about positivity. And once again, like I said, if we give love a chance, trust me, this world will be a beautiful place. And love for everything, love for arts, love for music, love for life, love for your surroundings. Water the trees, water the plants that need to be watered. Like initially when you introduced me, and you said India is one of my favorite places, it definitely is. And I'll tell you why, because India, the most beautiful thing about India is that you can go in an intersection, there's a church in front of a synagogue, in front of a mandir, in front of a Islamic temple. Like literally in one intersection, you see 4 different, temples of 4 different faiths. And they're all walking through, doing their own thing, living a beautiful life. And there you see a lot of, in India, you see a lot of passionate people talking about watering plants. They literally, a little tree that is growing on the side of a street, they literally put protection around it and somebody goes and waters it. They literally put bricks around that tree because it's a form of life. And they want it to grow and develop, so they put little bricks or whatnot around it for that little plant to eventually turn into a bigger plant and eventually turn into a tree. So that shows love for your surroundings. When they see a dog and they're eating their food and they know that street dog, let's say, is hungry, they don't throw their food in the trash. They feed the dog. And talking about that, not that I'm part of a Greenpeace or whatnot, and that's another thing. We're in the 21st century. You can be a part of everything.
Yes.
That's good. That's
Absolutely.
good. You can be everything you can be a part of everything that is positive and will bring a positive change into this world. So once again, not that I'm part of, which I am not, I'm not affiliated with them in any sort of way, but things that these Greenpeace people are doing, some of the things that are doing us are really beneficial to our society. The amount of food that we as Americans waste in the United States can feed the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can feed the world. Meaning no more hunger in Africa or certain parts of the world. Not to just emphasize on Africa, So with that said, if we spread the message of love, if we become, like Bob Marley said, one love, that's basically that's wholeness, that, become complete. Oh my God, this world would be such a beautiful place. I mean, if we could, even with this world, we could have positive competition. Let China create what they're good at, let Germans create what they're good at, let the Indians create what they're good at, and the same goes with the rest of the world.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that. And, like we said in the beginning, that love is the highest frequency that you can operate at. And it's beautiful when you recognize that love really begins with you. Peace begins with you. Bliss begins with you. It's a perception that you create within your own mind. And so when you recognize that it is your divine responsibility, and that when you stay in your lane, right, when you stay in your own personal purpose, you don't necessarily have to worry about what your neighbor is doing. You
Absolutely.
are operating in the frequency, the highest frequency of love. And so when you are able to extend that, it's like a domino effect. You inspire your neighbor to do the same thing. So you're not hating on each other. I mean, it's a really big responsibility to be in leadership. It's a big responsibility to be at the forefront of the public eye, because those people are the ones that we're putting in the time to create and to inspire and to, make the monetary wealth in order for you to be able to benefit from it. And instead of talking bad about people that are doing that, how about you focus and stay in your lane so that you can continue to be in your divine purpose? And the more that we do that, the higher frequency that we operate at.
Right, absolutely. Just like you're driving, if you pay attention to how your person next to you is driving, you're going to get an accident yourself. Pay attention to the road. Pay attention on how you're driving, So absolutely, I agree with you. And with that said, yes, India is one of my favorite places on earth, but let's not forget the United States is just as beautiful. I mean, this is the melting pot. This is the world land of opportunity. This is where everything. I mean, we are pioneers to a lot of things. Some things we just took credit for, but yeah, we were. Yeah, but U.S. of A is one of the best places on earth. And it allows you to. And one of the things that I have learned and that I'm thankful, just so I could throw that in there as well, is that being able to live in the Western society and being able to. I consider myself an American now, although I was born in Afghanistan, but I'm a naturalized U.S. citizen now, so for quite some time. And United States had allowed me to be a leader instead of a follower. See, other places and other countries, they tell you, and just like horses, they cover your eyes and they want you to not look at anything else, and just straight in front of you, and they want you to be a follower. Here in U.S., or in the Western world, including Germany and Europe, the countries that I was exposed to, it allows you to be a leader. Especially here in the United States. First, I'm thankful that they've accepted me as one of their own. To be an American is a blessing. It's a beautiful thing. And I think that we all have responsibilities, whatever country we belong to, but as a human being, we have responsibilities, so we have to show the world that there are a lot of Americans that are genuine, good people, good, loving people, that love the earth and love and have exact same dreams and have the same exact thoughts. It's just certain things are not in our control. The world economy, the governments and stuff like that, that's not in the general public's control. So there's only so much we can do as individuals. But with that said, US of A is one of the most beautiful places on earth. It allows you to think big, to dream big, and to achieve big.
Oh, I love that. And it's that in itself is so inspiring to hear, because, we are so privileged to, well, one, we are privileged to even be on this planet, because planet Earth has the most brilliant minds in the universe.
Well, without a doubt.
To be alive during this time is such an honor. And when you awaken to your divine giftings, which everybody has, right? When you just awaken to that, man, what more can you do? It is so beautiful to realize that and to recognize that. And I truly believe that your daily practices really have the capacity to impact how you operate on a daily basis. So I love to ask this question, because the greats have developed skills and practices on a consistent basis to be able to operate at the highest frequency. So what practices do you implement to stay grounded and divinely connected to yourself and your creator?
I try to meditate, definitely. I try to take some time every morning, at least a good half an hour, to just sink in within myself and to kind of like I step out of the picture every morning for half an hour and look at me and the world, and then I step back into myself. And besides that, I've traveled around the world and I've seen beautiful things and I've seen a lot of painful things. I've seen poverty to the extreme. I've seen brothers fight over the most little thing. And I mean, it's just, I've seen most horrible things as well. And that's what keeps me grounded, by knowing, by being exposed to those things. I know how blessed I am, how fortunate I am, and what my responsibilities are. And I know that I don't have any excuses. I don't have those distractions. I do have a roof over my head, and basically I have the opportunity to go make that difference. So there's nothing stopping me, unlike that person who is a great artist, but he needs to find a piece of bread for him and his wife and 2 kids first. So he puts the art on the back burner, his talent, everything, and instead he goes and, let's say, polishes shoes to make a living, where he could have been one of the best or one of the greatest. So I personally think that I am blessed for, once again, to, like you said, to be first and foremost, to be living in this era on this beautiful planet of ours. Secondly, to be in a place like United States of America. And third, to be able to make that difference, to have that God has given me that gift to make that difference. So those things, by just when I'm meditating, that's part of my meditation. That's what I do basically. I constantly step out and I think and I look around my surroundings, people my age, people that didn't make it to my age, people that I personally, friends, dear friends or loved ones, or just people around the world that didn't even make it to their 20 or early 20s, due to one thing or another. So yes, I am blessed, and yes, I will take advantage of this time, the rest of the time that I am on this earth, to make a difference, to be the greatest. If I'm not the greatest, or if I don't become one of the greatest, that's the time will tell. But that's something that most great artists or masters didn't know. Van Gogh, until he died, they considered him insane. Now they speak highly of me. So I'm going to go and I'm going to dream big, and I'm going to go on with life, knowing that if they don't appreciate me as one of the greatest now, they will 100 years from now.
Yeah. And I think that it really is just, again, a perspective from the eye of the person who is looking, because we're not going to resonate with everybody. So I feel like if you believe that you're the greatest already in your mind, you're going to align with people in your specific universe, like say it's the vicinities of your energetic field, that are going to resonate with that, and they're going to believe that you're the greatest as well. So it doesn't matter if the entire world, right, doesn't believe that you're the greatest.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Right, exactly. Absolutely. I'm very happy. I'm a happy camper. I'm very comfortable in my skin, and as long as the ones that matter to me are the ones that appreciate me, the ones that know my talent and see my talent. Those are the ones that I do not want to disappoint them. Let's put it that way. The ones that already believe in me and they think that I am one of the greatest, or I will be one of the greatest. So I keep trying to astonish them. I want to surprise them and blow their mind, with my newer creations, that, to show them that, they were not wrong about me. And that's what keeps me going. And that's what should keep every artist going. Don't worry of what they think about you now. It's okay. It's irrelevant. As long as you know that you're one of the greatest, and you leave a portfolio behind, leave a legacy behind. That's the whole objective. Leave a legacy, and sooner or later, somebody out there will appreciate
you. Absolutely. And, may your father rest in paradise, because that's exactly where he is. He's transitioned to a new dimension of time, right? But were you really young when he transitioned?
No, actually, no. He passed away. He lived a full life, complete life. He passed away in his 80s. He passed away about, I would say, about 3 years ago now. Yeah, 3 years ago, January of 2019.
Oh, wow. So it's
right. And and what a great man. I mean, he was not only my father, he was my best friend. He was my critic. I mean, if it wasn't good enough for my dad, it wasn't good enough to show to the world. I had to impress him, and I had to get his okay. First, I'm a perfectionist myself. I've even when the painting looks complete, I still spend hours and days on it to finish it off, but my dad, definitely. So losing him was almost like ripping this ceiling over my head. I felt like I'm abandoned, I'm in this world on my own, and now it's going to rain on me because there's no roof over me and whatnot. But when he passed away, I actually felt him a lot more inside me. I realized that he's no longer another individual. He's everywhere now. He's with me all the time. So even now, when I paint and when I do certain things, I do it with that intention that my dad is looking down, and he has to be impressed. It has to be okay by him first.
That's beautiful. I'm so glad that you said that you feel like he's all around you and inside of you, because that really is the perfect representation of what God is. God is omnipotent, God is omnipresent. And when you experience that, with your own personal lineage, your parents, right? That is such a beautiful thing to know that when they leave this planet, they really didn't leave. Their spirit and their soul remains forever. And it's something so beautiful to recognize that, even though.
Yeah, I mean, only God knows, I haven't been to the other side to come back and tell you how it's like, whether there's reincarnation or not, or whatever it might be, or what the world is all about. All I know is that I am blessed for God to give me this opportunity to be on this earth. Yes, I went through obstacles. Yes, I went through ups and downs. Sometimes it feels like a punishment, but most of the time it feels like a blessing. So, and that's what I'm very thankful for. And also, not to mention, I'm thankful for you to give me the opportunity to come on your show today, and to hopefully, even if, and same goes for you, even if you change one person, your job is done. That's it. As long as we can change one person to better themselves, and to think positive. And if they're, let's say, hopeless, or God forbid, borderline suicidal, or whatever it might be, if we can bring that change, if we have made that difference, our job is complete.
Yes.
So, and for all those young artists, once again, that are out there trying or wondering whether or not they will ever be able to make it big, if you can dream big, you will make it big. So if you can dream about it, there's something, the universe is giving you some sort of message in your dreams, in your thoughts. So follow that passion and don't give up. And don't get sidetracked by other things. And for God's sake, please, for all those young people that are out there and still getting involved into crime and whatnot, which I have a lot of friends or close associates that are still, for God's sake, wake up. Yeah, I mean, I understand 80s and 90s and prior to that, yes. I mean, we have the whole social media. Look at the world. Now, see, things that I have seen in my own eyes, a person can sit in their apartment or house and literally from Compton or Jersey City or wherever they might be, they can look at the world and see what people are doing and what kind of differences they're bringing into this world. Anything can happen. Obama became the president and Olomi became an artist. Hey, anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can see it in your mind, you can achieve it in real life. And that really 100%. Is like, that is the true epitome of what faith is. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. And even if you can't tangibly feel it right now, if you can literally create it in your mind, like an artist can create a painting, you have capacity to create it in real life. We are the architects of our destiny, and we have the capacity to design whatever story we want to create. We can script any life that we want to create. And it's such a beautiful thing to recognize that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And with that said, also, when it comes to an art, when I do a painting, like let's say those eyes behind me that I've painted, it doesn't happen overnight. You sketch it out, you color it in, you do it, you slowly, it forms so that you have that dream or that vision that this is what my painting will look like, and then slowly you work on it. So same goes for your dreams. Dream and imagine that this is what my life will look like, and slowly work on it, just like that painting. Just the painting, with the painting that I visualize in my head, to what it looks like initially on canvas is two different things. But with time and with precision, I work on it, and slowly it becomes that same painting that I imagined in my head. So same thing goes with your dreams. Dream big and slowly work on it, and it will take time. It doesn't happen overnight. It will take time, effort, and a lot of precision.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh. Well, you've already given so many nuggets of wisdom. But if you were to give that one person that is seeking a deeper understanding of themselves, what word of wisdom would you give to that person?
Well, that's one of the most hardest thing is to find out, like basically to find out what your cause is and what your purpose is on life. And I would say, once again, not to give up, to see what you're really good at, and don't just go by, like, let's say you pick up a guitar and you're like, okay, this is it, I'm going to be a guitarist. And then after a month, you realize that, oh, you know what, you're a lousy guitarist and you're not going to be a guitarist. So you're never, ever going to try the guitar or the violin or the bass or anything else ever again. But that is wrong. You only gave it a month. You didn't practice properly the way you should have practiced. You should have put in an hour or two where you sat in for 15 minutes and you got frustrated after, striking this chords after a few times. So basically my advice to them is, once again, same thing that I've been saying for the last hour or so: dream big. Don't let anything or anybody tell you otherwise. Stick to it. If you know that you're good at it, if you know, like I said, if you can dream it, then that's it. You got it. You might say that, well, a lot of people dream about becoming a big actor or this great singer. Yes, they had the dream, they had the talent, they just didn't try hard enough. Simple as that. They were not. You just have to give it 110%. It's not a joke. You're trying to impress the world. Okay. Talent is God gifted. I mean, yes, you perfect it by going to school and getting a degree and whatnot, but you're trying to convince the world that God has gifted you with this ultimate talent, that you're going to be the great dancer, the best dancer of all time. So you got to give it 110%. You can't not give it a lousy 99%. It's not good enough. There's a lot of competition out there. You have to show that you're the best. You have to believe it, show it, and stick with it. And yes, speed bumps, like I said, roadblocks, sometimes dead ends. I've had so many doors close on me, but what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It's so true.
It does.
It made me stronger, wiser, and more professional. The next time around, I was more prepared. Simple as that. You learn from your mistakes, from your flaws, and you perfect yourself. So the first time around, if you didn't make it on American Idol, try it the second time. If that didn't work, the third, the fourth, don't give up. And if you can't make it as an American Idol, guess what? You can make it as your own little band. You might be famous by just being your own singer and doing it on your own. You don't need that title, So stick with your dream. Don't give up on it. Give it your 110%, and believe me, you will see the results. It's not rocket science. It's just you give 100% and you'll see the results. You don't try hard enough. Don't cry no river over here. That, oh, well, I wanted to do this and do that and nothing happened. Well, you didn't try hard enough.
Absolutely.
So yeah, just try. Believe in yourself. That's the most important thing. Believe in yourself. And make sure not to give up, and always stick with your dream and claim that you will be that person. If you want to be a physician, whatever it might be, dream big. Think that you will be the best at what you're doing.
Absolutely.
So,
100%. Olomi, I am so excited about this conversation, and I'm really grateful that you have taken the time to exchange beautiful words with me and to inspire the world with all the work that you're doing, because art is such a beautiful resource that we can use in order for us to really, you know, change the narrative of what's happening in this world. You can use the lens of the artist to take yourself to a place that you couldn't even see for yourself, and
Absolutely.
to use that as an inspiration board to create something, create a dream that you didn't even know you had or thought was possible for you, because there is no limit. We are limitless. And there really is no limit to what you can create in this world and what you can do with the God-given purpose that you have been gifted the day that you were brought into human form. So I'm so grateful, Olomi. And again, give us the release date again for your Elon Musk NFT.
2/22/22, February 22nd this year, noratech.com. So at noratech.com, go check it out, and you'll be blown away with the painting. I mean, like every skin pixelation you see on that painting, his hairline, every hair, everything. I mean, it's everything. And the eyelashes, and of course, you saw the detail of the Tesla sign and the SpaceX inside his pupil, inside his eye. So 2/22/22, go check it out and bid on it. And like I told that lady back, a few decades ago, that get it now, because one day that painting will be worth even more than this. And also one thing I wanted to add I'm usually a much better person, so a better looking person, that is. I've been under the weather, but I had promised to do this interview, so I stuck with my promise. So I did come through, but I was sneezing even like 10 minutes before I came onto the show. I was like sneezing nonstop, but I did come, and I'm blessed, and I'm thankful for you to give me this opportunity to be on your show, and with the slight distraction of DOG, but I was blessed, and I wish you nothing but the best. And I hope that we have opened up some people's eyes and to change some people's minds. And once again, I want all those dreamers to dream big. If a person says otherwise, it's us dreamers. We're the ones that started with the painting, that turned into photography, that turned into cinema, artists, every form of art. Imagine the world without music. Oh, for God's sake, how depressing would that be? Imagine the world without colors. Imagine the world without dancing. So any form of art is a beautiful thing, and we definitely need it for the future. Yes, over time, art will evolve. It might become more digital or might become like this, but art is art. It will still be art, and it will still be beautiful. Yes. So thank you again for giving me this opportunity to be part of the show. Wish you nothing but the best. And yes, I know that's partially why I kind of need to run. DOG is driving me crazy.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. Well, thank you so much to everyone who is going to take the time to tune into this conversation. We have been blessed, and we are just so inspired that you are going to continue to be inspired by these conversations. Make sure that you tune in to Olomi's, and we will be posting all of Olomi's information below this video, so you are able to connect with him, to see his journey moving forward. And we are just so blessed, and know that this upcoming season is going to continue to prosper you, to bless you, to inspire you to live out your divine purpose. May you continue to be blessed in everything that you do. And many blessings to you. Thank you.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Thank you once again.